Good evening. Welcome to the Glazov Gang. Tonight, the best Glazov gang ever. Our gangsters this evening. Dwight Schultz, a Hollywood actor who played Murdoch on NBC's The A-Team. He's also undefeated in 52 fights in underground fight clubs in California, and he is still losing weight. Right, Dwight?
That's right.
How many inches off the...
4 inches off my waist.
And it's continuing.
Yeah.
When does it stop?
When I say it stops.
When you say it stops. Congratulations,
Thank
Dwight. You. Nonie Darwish, a modern-day freedom fighter who is the author of the latest book, The Devil We Don't Know, The Dark Sides of Revolution in the Middle East. And last but not least, Michael Chandler, a San Diego Chargers fan and also an intellectual.
I try.
Glazov gang members, welcome to the Glazov gang.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Our pleasure.
Nice to be here.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how excited are you to be on the gang, Dwight?
Oh,
4 inches off my waist.
Nonie?
thrilled.
No, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, 12.
Okay, excellent.
9.5.
9.5, okay. I have to work hard for the next 0.5,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Glazov gang members, so much to talk about this week. Let us begin with Obama's speech today in Germany, where I think only, 4.5 thousand showed up or something, as in contrast to what?
200,000.
200,000.
Back in 2008.
Yeah.
Is this significant? Furthermore, some of the themes he discussed today in terms of nuclear disarmament, etc., what do you make of the low turnout and of some of the themes he touched on? And I think we'll begin with Nonie.
Well, Europe was so thrilled with the election of the first black president, and he proved to be more of a celebrity president than substance. And they are starting to figure out it's all hype and very little substance. So they didn't show up.
Nonie, something really is happening here. I find ever since these scandals came, because for a long time there was no criticism of their earthly deity, right? Their secular messiah.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden there seems to be disillusionment and...
But I still think there is a solid 45% behind him regardless.
Yeah.
Even if Obama becomes a tyrant, a dictator, they are going to still love him.
Oh.
Because actually liberalism really loves control. So the far left want him to do more control. They have no problem with that whatsoever. And the media has no problem really if Obama spies on them, because they feel that they're the same. Our media, Western media or American media, mainstream media, really is acting like they want to be the government.
Well,
and they have no problem if Obama spies on them.
Absolutely. Hey, I'll tell you, some of the leftist journalists during the Cold War, they actually, when they were visiting Russia and these were fellow travelers, they wanted the communist governments to censor their stuff before it was printed. Michael?
The American people, and people on the left, for that matter, they want to be controlled. That's the scary thing. I don't think that allegiance now means what it used to mean. The American people in particular are looking for somebody to think for them, where in the past they were content to think for themselves. Issues like fidelity or the oath that servicemen would take or politicians would take or cops would take, that doesn't mean now what it used to mean. And so it is with the media. The media doesn't really now share the views of the man in the street. Media now wants to shield the leftist that is going to try to remake society, because the people on the left, the people who run media, don't think the American people are astute enough, wise enough, flexible enough to govern themselves. They want some wise, all well-meaning leftist to make things fair and right for all.
And what I worry about is that the majority are that way now. This is what's really scaring me. Dwight, before we hear your wisdom on this, you are calling somebody the assassin.
Yes,
lead in with that.
Yes, I decided that I think it's absolutely clear after the speech that he gave today, which was preposterous with all that is going on in the United States of America, that he is an assassin. That is his job. That was his task. That is what he is doing. To go to the Brandenburg Gate and to suggest that we unilaterally disarm, to talk about global warming, and he has to talk about global warming because apparently that's part of his secondary plan to put strictures on the United States economy. He moves ahead, destroying the ability of the United States to maintain its position in the world, no matter what. It doesn't matter if if there are 5, 6, 7 scandals. He just moves ahead with plans to destroy the United States as we knew it, and he's been very successful, very, very successful in every way.
Absolutely.
So socially, he's denuded the military. He has destroyed. He's in the process of destroying the economy, religion, the family, sexual mores. He has invaded. He's been in like a disease almost, but he's an assassin and very successful.
And what's the bad news?
Well, a lot of people will say that's nonsense.
Okay,
I'll be attacked
look,
for being over the top.
Dwight, I agree with you 100%. And one of the tragedies here is also that the Muslim Brotherhood has been has infiltrated the administration, has penetrated Washington. They're calling the shots on a lot of things. And I think one of the things that really symbolize what's happening in America is one nation under Allah. In Rocky Mountain High School in Fort Collins, Colorado, just recently, the Pledge of Allegiance in that school by the kids is said in Arabic, and it was said under Allah in the Pledge of Allegiance. What is going on in our country? Nonie, you go first.
Well, from my knowledge, because I grew up in a Muslim culture, and the way the Arabian Peninsula penetrated the whole Middle East and Arabized it, was wherever they go, they insist on teaching Arabic. And the first thing they force is the Arabic language. So what they're doing in America is not a surprise. They've changed the language of Egypt to Arabic as soon as they conquered Egypt, the Arabs. And so they always say, you really can't understand Islam and the Arab world unless you learn Arabic. As long as you don't know Arabic, you can't understand us. So you have a duty to understand us by learning Arabic. And this is how they are selling the language. So they go into schools now insisting on teaching Arabic, and not Spanish, but Arabic. And this is how they're penetrating the schools. So they are reciting the national the Pledge of Allegiance in Arabic, and the translation of God is Allah. So they're penetrating the language and the religion through the excuse of teaching Arabic.
And this is happening to our children in the public schools. And you know what? The left is up in arms if Jesus is mentioned in the schools, if God is mentioned in the schools. But if Allah is mentioned in the schools in Arabic, not a word of protest from the media, from Chris Matthews, from Anderson Cooper, from Piers Morgan, Nation Magazine, silent once again. Michael?
I think of how the Arab culture, when they think in terms of subduing other societies, other cultures, and what they do, the first thing they do when they succeed in doing that is destroying the talismans of the previous culture. When they would subdue the Jews, for example, they broke down their temples and built over them. That's a big deal. Well, they're doing the same sort of thing here in the United States or in the West in general. They're building over our culture when they build over our language, the language of the Pledge of Allegiance, which is in English. But now, if they can persuade us to say our own Pledge of Allegiance in their language, they are building over our culture.
And we are surrendering. Just like the Dome of the Rock on top of the Temple Mount,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Dwight, do you have anything to offer here?
Well, just to say that, to give you an example, Obama got into a little bit of a pickle over in Great Britain by saying that Catholic education over there is divisive and it should be stopped. Yet it's okay here to not only to change the Pledge of Allegiance and to use the word Allah instead of God, but
Islamic schools.
Yeah,
there are Islamic schools.
Or kids being
but-
coming to school with burqas on.
Yeah, but also
Arabic schools.
the other aspect is boys are they're being asked to come to school wearing girls' clothing, to make them feel comfortable. This is psychological oppression. That's exactly, and it's been thought out very well.
Yeah.
In the school curriculums and the books, it's all part of the liberal leftist plan to destroy really that which was the United States of America: God, family, and country.
And Obama is using shaming, the Catholic culture, shaming our heritage. And if we don't accept and embrace the Islamic and the Arabic language, and if we just relate Islam to terrorism in any way, then we must be shamed. A lot of people think that Obama is the first black president in America.
Bill Clinton wasn't he?
Exactly. It was Bill Clinton. I think
Bill
Obama
Clinton was black?
Is the
He
first,
was the first black president.
He's the first Arab president. He has the same modus operandi of the Arab leaders. He reminds me so much of Arab dictators. I can't believe he's like a zookeeper. He wants America to become a zoo. We're all in our little cages, and he throws the meat. He throws whatever food stamps or whatever, and we are supposed to say, "Thank you, Allahu Akbar, thank you, Obama, for feeding us." And this is how the Arab world is run.
Okay, that's it. I think we're all going to get audited now.
Yes.
We've probably been audited already. They just haven't contacted us yet.
But Nonie, thank you very much for your courage and nobility and your powerful truth-telling. Can we move on to Iran, or somebody had a quick comment before we go? Let's move on to Iran. The new president-elect, Hassan Rouhani, a moderate. The West is going crazy. You know, I've always been interested in this phenomenon of how the West is just salivating at the lips whenever the tyrant, the adversary culture, which is ruled by tyrant, they're moderate. It's a moderate. I remember when Andropov came to power after Brezhnev. Oh, he likes whiskey. He listens to classical
Mozart.
music. Or, pardon?
Mozart.
Oh, what did I say?
Classical music, which is Mozart.
Oh, okay.
No worries.
He likes Mozart, etc. But this was a KGB murderer tyrant. And they're just doing it over and over again. I find that the West, the liberals, they're always searching for these moderates in these tyrannical adversary cultures and societies, which are not. And this guy is not a moderate.
No.
Dwight?
Well, the media in this country is part of the Liberal Party, the Democratic Party. That's what they are. They are the conduit of information. They are propagandists. They are paid propagandists, millionaires many times over, to influence. They're the biggest influence peddlers. And it is their job, while the President of the United States wants, actually, I mean, we've been negotiating with the Iranians for 10 years about their nuclear problem. We're not moving forward as they move forward. And what the media does, the reason they say all these things about moderates and all this is to mollify the people, while the President of the United States allows the Iranians to get the inevitable, because that is the Obama. That's what he wants to happen.
Just a sec. On this Glazov gang episode,
Yes.
Dwight Schultz is saying that Obama wants the Iranians to get nuclear weapons.
Yes, he does.
I will second that.
Yeah, and listen, Albright, when Albright
Madeleine
went to
Albright.
Russia, she said, "We don't want the United States any longer to be the controlling power in the world. We want a multipolar world," and that is what they think. This is inevitable. They're allowing them to get it.
Scary times, Michael?
Much of what Dwight says I agree with. What the left wants to do is have a leveling of things. They don't like that the West has been strong for decades, maybe 100 years. They want the West to come down, England and America, and they want the underdogs of the past, Egypt, Iran, South America, to come up. That requires a leveling. That's not a good thing because it means we lose our place in the world. As we give our assets, give our strength to others.
They hate success.
They do.
And they'd
but
rather
we are the
everybody
who will lose that which we have, and we will elevate those who do not appreciate success, and will use it in bad ways for all, not just for themselves or for us.
Well, Margaret Thatcher said it the best. If there's rich here and the poor is here, the left would rather it be like this.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Except the nomenclatura, of course. They get to own everything. Nonie?
Regarding this moderate thing, I mean, the West is desperate to call the Middle East moderate, to find moderate leaders. The word moderate is meaningless, really, because, and they are feeding, I mean, they're laughing at us. What is this? Okay, you want to call us moderate? Okay, we're going to give it to you. I'm moderate. The Muslim Brotherhood, to make the West happy,
we'll say
okay, they're going to say, we're moderate now. We stopped assassinations. We are going to birth another group called Al-Qaeda, which they did, and they will do the terror. And we will negotiate with you now. But really, they are really separate from us. But they are really not separate. The West has to understand that this game that's being played, which is they birth another group and call it radical to do the dirty work, and then they are doing the negotiation. So they call themselves moderate. So the West deals with them, and frankly, the West is not being fooled. I refuse the idea that the West is
disagree.
being
The West is being fooled.
I think the West is intentionally accepting being fooled, because when they do that, maybe they will love us.
Okay, 1 second. Nonie, we're out of time. We'll continue this in the second segment. Before we go, I don't want to make you guys uncomfortable, but Dwight mentioned something earlier about the gendered clothing of the schools and stuff. We had a staff meeting the other day with the Glazov gang. We were thinking about becoming more progressive and having some of the guests come in with transgendered clothing. Dwight, are you interested?
Very uncomfortable.
Would you?
I'm very uncomfortable.
Nonie?
Yeah, I'll wear a mustache.
Oh, you'll wear a mustache. Michael?
I will not comply.
No.
I'm not wearing a burqa.
Okay, just checking with my guests.
King Henry VIII's codpiece.
We'll be back for our second segment in just a minute.